and you shall call his name Jesus, for he will save his people from their sins. Here's the problem for a lot of people when they're opening up that theoretical gift that's so beautiful on the outside that represents their Christmas celebration, but when they get inside, there's nothing, just an empty box. The reason why there is an empty box is that they fail to understand that this celebration is a celebration of the redeemed, celebrating the fact that God has come into this world to save us from our sin. Jesus came to save the world. And only he was qualified to do so. Only he was sinless. Only he was perfect. Only he was God. Meredith, my sweet daughter, was born with a sin nature just like all of us. And Paul says that for those of us who have this sin nature, that there's a penalty to it. Romans 5 verse 12, he writes, therefore just as sin came into the world through one man, and death through sin, that's the penalty. And so death spread to all men because all sinned. That one man that Paul was speaking of was none other than Adam. And Adam, along with his wife Eve, the first created human beings placed in the garden to have a right relationship with God, disobeyed God, and in their disobedience, the curse of sin fell upon them and upon all of humanity. So that every person that has been born in this world has the curse of sin except one. And that one person is Jesus himself. All of us have been tainted by sin except for Jesus. He may have been born as we have been born, but he was conceived in a miraculous way. His mother was untouched by a man. She remained a virgin upon Jesus' birth. You'll see it in verse 23, behold, the virgin shall conceive and bear a son, this prophecy declared. The Bible specifically mentions that she had never known a man when Jesus was born. In fact, keep your spot here, but jump over to Luke's accounting of the nativity story, but go to chapter 1. In Luke chapter 1, you'll see the interaction between the angel and Mary when she first discovered that she was going to give birth to the Christ child. In verse 34, Mary says to the angel, after the angel said this is going to happen, she says, well, how will this be, since I'm a virgin? She understands that the natural way of a person to be conceived is through an intimate physical relationship between a man and a woman. She understood that, and that had not yet happened for her. And so the angel in verse 35 answers her and says, well, here's the response. Here's the way it's going to happen. The Holy Spirit will come upon you, and the power of the Most High will overshadow you. Therefore, the child to be born will be called the Holy Son of God. Holy, the Son of God. So Mary never knew a man until after Jesus was born. It was truly a miraculous birth. The Christ child born of a virgin. And this is a vitally important part of the story when we talk about the Christ child in the Christmas story. See, this